Good music there from Mr. Dirks Bentley here on Dead End Day Sunrise. A song called Home, taking us to 16 minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock. And joining me on the phone this morning, when we're talking about National Youth Arts Week across the country, events are taking place in most parts of Canada for the next 7 days. Joining us from Saskatchewan, we're joined by Zoe Roy. Zoe, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Zoe, you were in the Northwest Territories before in dealing with National Youth Arts Week. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. In the summer of 2012, I partnered with Canadian Roots Exchange and Kira Don Colson from Yellowknife and NWT, and I went to spend some time on Cameron Lake. This opportunity was facilitated by Kira Don Colson, who is a activist and an artist from Yellowknife, and she took us to different places, learning about the culture and the governance systems, and we went and spent some time in Betchico. What I was going there for was to try to get young people engaged with National Youth Arts Week, but what I realized is that they were deeply engaged in the arts, and in Yellowknife more specifically, and Betchico, it seems like National Youth Arts Week is happening year-round because there's so many opportunities. So I was trying to find a way to get connected with what's going on in the Northwest Territories, because they have such a thriving art scene, to what's going on with the rest of Canada. And I feel like we got the word out there because a young lady from Paulatuck, she's a friend of mine now, her name's Jerry, she messaged me a few weeks ago and was like, Zoe, National Youth Arts Week is happening right away. I'm really excited about it, and I haven't forgot about it. So that really gives me hope that we can continue working with NWT to make National Youth Arts Week happen next year. Yeah.
So there's really not very much going on here. There isn't anything at all. Why is that?
Well, I think my strategy for getting the community engaged was with mobilizers who I was hoping to identify and work with consistently over the year until this point. It seems like the arts is happening and it's thriving, but the mobilizers that I've been communicating with are really focused on school and an activist work. Like Kira Don Colson, she's in the States right now, and she's one of the most mobile people I've met in Canada, period. And she's doing a lot of amazing things for NWT right now.
Right. And so when you're here in the Northwest Territories last year, I remember you being at the radio station as well for a visit. What have you been for yourself? Like you say, this kind of motivated you in some way to generate and try to get other young people active in doing stuff. What have you learned from all of this experience for yourself?
Well, I guess when we're talking about NWT specifically, I'm going to touch on this really quickly because I am Dene, and I have never been to a Dene community that has such a rich culture. And so personally, I was deeply inspired, and it's really changed my outlook on life and how proud I am to be an Indigenous woman in Canada, and more specifically to be a Dene woman in Canada. And I guess what else I've learned is that it takes a lot of work, a lot of communication, consistency, and opportunity to make face-to-face contact opposed to just doing everything online or by phone. There needs to be some sort of commitment from the community, and there needs to be some financial support from the community so that the mobilizers in the community can do the work they need to do without the cost of their own time that's not compensated.
Right. Now, Zoe, how can young people find out information and get as motivated as you if they're feeling like it today and any other day? Is there a place in the internet that they could find information and maybe possibly get in touch with you and stuff like this?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so they can go to www.youthartsweek.ca. There's tons of events happening in cities and communities, small towns, reserves, coast to coast, all across Canada. And there is some events happening in Nunavut. I know that it's pretty heavy out there. And in order to get in touch with me, you can email me at zondra@artsnetwork.ca.
All right, Zoe, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Zoe Roy in Saskatchewan. You're listening to Dead and Day Sunrise on CKLB Radio. Go to some music now. This one.